So I think I mentioned in a previous video how much I love building out stereo system and surround sound systems. Now, I would not profess to be an expert in either of these, vocations, if I may use that word. But I've been doing this long enough to be able to do it at a level that I think is good enough for my listening pleasure and probably for other people's listening pleasure as well. All right, but what I'm driving at though is the fact that I am, even though I'm in my 60s now, and this is something that I started from in my 20s, I still love, I meant to say, putting little systems together, whether it be a stereo system or a surround sound system, whether it be just for background music or more kind of critical listening. I love it. I am not intimidated by the technology. I embrace the tech, and I think once you get to know the fundamentals, you're good to go. All right, so today I'm going to do another little build, just for the fun of it, with a little amplifier that I have here and some speakers that I have around the house. And, just for your viewing pleasure, so to speak, or, if you can find something from this which might be helpful to you, then, so much the better. All right. So today I have, for the build, I have this little amplifier here called, what is it called? The AYIMA D03. It's a 2-channel, mini amp, rated at 150 watts per channel. That is debatable in my opinion, but that's what is written on the box. And for speakers, I have a pair of Pioneer bookshelves. Yeah, Pioneer bookshelf. Now these Pioneers were designed by, the legendary speaker designer Andrew Jones, and these have been out for a couple of years now. At least this model. I'm just going to pull off the grill so you can see the drivers here. It has a very beautiful soft dome tweeter, or should I say silk dome, soft dome. It's one of them, and a 4-inch bass driver. Now, in the big scheme of things, a 4-inch driver is nothing, in terms of producing bass. So, if you should put together something like, something together using speakers like this, and especially if you listen at higher volumes, I would recommend that you have a subwoofer in the system. So this is what it looks like on the front. It's rear ported at the back, and just to mention the model number is the SPBS22. SPBS22, and of course, if you look careful, you can see the Andrew Jones signature on the back of them. Now these speakers, compared to my previous build, which in that build I used a set of Infinity bookshelves. And those Infinity, they play very clear and natural, and very easy to drive. If I may use the word bright, they're more on the brighter side in terms of the sound, right? And compared to these play a little bit more on the warmer side in terms of the sound signature, more much more on the warmer side. And I love them for that reason as well. And it's amazing that even though, you know, this is just a 4-inch driver, the you know, the bass coming out of these little speakers is quite substantial. You know, if you're not into loud music, you just want something for background music, maybe in an office setting, or you know, in your living room setting, the bass coming out of these little speakers are, you know, might be adequate for your purposes. You never know. You may not even need a subwoofer. Yeah, so for the build today, I'm going to pair this Ayima DO3 with these Pioneer bookshelf speakers. All right, so let's go back to the amplifier for a moment. I'm just going to get it out of the box and just kind of do a little run over with it. Now here it is. This is what it looks like. You'll notice, compared to my previous build with the Arylic A50 Plus, is that these have real binding posts. This, I'm saying, this has real binding posts at the back, which I love, because, you know, when you have binding posts, then you can use, you know, banana plugs, you know, with them, which I prefer to use rather than spring-loaded kind of clip stuff. Now, in terms of connectivity, or should I say, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? In terms of streaming, this does not have any kind of streaming built in, right? The best you can do with this is Bluetooth. Pair it with a, you know, with your phone or something else that has Bluetooth, and you can you know, stream something to this via Bluetooth, right? So back to connectivity. So a pair of two pairs of binding posts. I have a subwoofer output here. I have left and right. Hope you can see this. Left and right inputs. Hold it up so you can see it. You know, RCA left and right. And in terms of digital connections, I have coaxial digital connection. I have the Bluetooth. This is for the Bluetooth antenna, and down here, this is for Toslink or optical, as some people would prefer to say. I use the word optical connection, say from a CD player. And over here is here I have a USB connector. This is a USB-B connector, right? And I think I have a cable here, a USB-B cable here. Let me just grab it and show you what it looks like. You know, it's more like, it looks like those USB cables that you would connect to your printer, right? One end. So on one end, USB-B, and the other end, it has regular USB, standard USB or USB-A, so to speak. So what I have done, because I have used this amplifier in the past to connect to a phone, I have a USB-C to a USB-A connector, which I connect to this, and then I was able to connect to my phone and, you know, play from my phone into this amplifier. All right. Yeah. So in terms of digital connections, that's what you have. You know, USB, optical, and coaxial. All right. So let's put this together. For for in terms of musical source, a musical source. You know, in my previous build, that was more or less a streaming setup. You know, I did not connect anything external to that build. Now this build, I may connect a CD player. I think I'm going to connect a CD player, and I probably will connect something else to it. All right, so let's do it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to get it over here on my console area, on my rack, if I'm so to speak. Okay, which is behind me here. I'll place it here. This also comes with a remote. Let me see if I can find the remote. Oh, wait, what did I do with the remote now? Okay, here it is. This is the remote. A beautiful, beautiful little remote. You know, beautiful little remote. All right. So, so let's do it. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to connect my speaker cables. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the fact that this little amplifier has binding post, you know, for speakers, makes a huge difference. I love using binding posts. You know, I love to use binding post, right? Because it's a quicker connection, it's more secure, and it looks more professional, right? So let's do it. I'm gonna just bring it back over here. All right. So when you're connecting speakers, always ensure that you observe the polarity. So I'm using red. I'm not sure if you're able to see it, but red for the positive and black for the negative, which is kind of typical. All right, and this is going to be for my this channel. This is for my left channel. Yeah, this is for the left channel, and then for my right channel, same kind of scenario. Okay. All right, so here we go. Speaker cables are connected, and of course my you know, those Pioneer speakers also have binding post, right? This build also, or should I say, this amplifier also has you know, an external power supply. This is what it looks like. Yeah, a power brick, as they call them. And let's get it out of the way here. So I'm going to connect my power supply as well. Okay, power supply is connected. All right, I'm going to get it back on my console, on my rack here, so to speak. Okay, so there it is on the rack. And now I'm gonna connect my right speaker first, which is so much easier because you know, I have binding post on the speakers. Just put it here. Let's hope you're able to see it. Okay, so much easier. Yeah, so that's it. So this is for my right channel. I'm gonna get it on my speaker stands here, and I'm just gonna move over here and connect my left channel, which is so much, like I said, it's so much easier when you have binding post. I'd recommend, if you're picking up an amplifier, just get one which has, you know, as a matter of fact, you know, I think everything nowadays, the majority of amplifiers that you can buy do come with binding post. All right, so that is connected. Okay, so for musical source, I'm going to connect a CD player to it. Yeah, I'm going to connect a CD player to it. Yeah. I have here not a standard CD player per se. What I have here is it's a Blu-ray. It's a Panasonic Blu-ray player that I use for CD playback. Right? It's a very good CD player, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't use a CD player. I mean a Blu-ray player for CD playback. You know, there are a lot of new CD players coming back on the market right now. Some of them are very small, tiny, but of course you have the more professional full rack size CD, full rack size CD players, but they're quite expensive. You know, so if you're not serious about audio, I would not recommend spending like $300 or $400 to buy a full rack size CD player. You know, there are a lot of alternatives. You know, there are some smaller ones coming out on the market. I think maybe from Fio and some other Chinese manufacturers that you can get, or you just buy a Blu-ray player, an old Blu-ray player, like I have done here, right? And do that. All right. So my next order of business here is to connect the CD player to the amp, and I'm gonna connect using a Toslink or optical cable. All right. So let me just grab one, since I don't have one right beside me at the moment. Let me grab one. Okay. So here's the optical cable that I have. It's from I haven't had this for many years. It's from a company called Acoustic Research, and it still works. So I'll keep it. All right. So let me just pull back out the CD player. You know, my CD player here. I'm gonna connect one end of it to. Yeah. Okay, so that is connected. Okay, I'll just put it back here, and I'm gonna connect the second end to the amp. So, like I said, you can also use this for Bluetooth streaming. This amplifier is good for Bluetooth, or you can connect an analog. You know, you can connect an analog output to it. All right, so everything is connected so far. Let me just make sure that I have power, because what can you do without power? All right. Yeah, everything is connected. Okay, let me fire it up and see what. I'm just gonna fire it up and see what I can get. Yeah, of course the logo comes up. AIMA. Right now, the last input. The last input here was USB, so I'm gonna switch to optical, maybe optical. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab a CD and drop it into the player here and play back something. All right. Now, as you know, Um, I I can't allow you to hear what I'm playing. I can show you the the CD, but in terms of the music, I can't allow you to hear what I'm playing because I don't have the rights to this music. So of course it will get flagged by YouTube. All right. So let me grab a CD. So I picked up two CDs here. This is from an artist that I listen to a lot, Gregory Porter. He's a jazz artist, but he's more of a kind of jazz R&B kind of artist. Love his voice. And this album is called Take Me to the Alley. If you're a jazz aficionado, you might be aware of this album. This is the triple CD set that I picked up couple years ago from Dave Brubeck. These are the old. These are like the original. How should I say, jazz ensembles? Is that the right word? Yeah. So today I'm gonna play something back from Gregory Porter. All right, the good old CD. The good old CD. All right, let me drop it in here. And all right, so here's the thing. I'm gonna hit play, and I'm just gonna just rock to the beat. All right. Now, I can't allow you to hear what I'm playing, but if you can find this album online, if you listen to jazz like I do, you can possibly listen to it. Gregory Porter, take me to the alley. All right, here we go. Yeah, that was Gregory Porter from the album Take Me to the Alley. And what was the name of this track? The track was Holding On. Yeah, the track was Holding On. Yeah, so in terms of how it sounds really good. It's really good. These little amplifiers here, while they are not the best, in terms of giving you, that heavy, room filling, gut punching kind of sound, if that's your kind of thing, they're okay. They're okay. This also has a subwoofer out. Today I did not connect a sub to it, but I have done it before, and it sounds good. It adds so much more depth and so much more body to the music when you when the subwoofer is connected. Yeah, and yes, and so this is the AYIMA DO3 two-channel amplifier. So I would not discount these little amplifiers. I would not disregard them. Depending on the kind of setup that you are going for, these can come in. These can, they can come in clutch. Yes, I would recommend some of these amplifiers. Nothing for critical listening per se, because when it comes to, for me personally, I relish good sound. And I did a video earlier about why I listen to, talking about my dirty little secret and the fact that I listen to the radio a lot. But trust me, guys, not all radio stations are created equal. And I listen to a jazz radio station here in Toronto, Canada. And man, the quality of the sound coming through the airwaves, from this station is like, I don't know how they do it, but man, the quality is pristine quality, but I digress. Yeah, a set of Pioneer bookshelf speakers, AYIMA DO3, this can put out, according to the manufacturer, 150 watts per channel, and you know, that's you know, to be determined. Quite a bit of input connectors into the amplifier, and you know, quite a bit of connectors. No streaming built in, just Bluetooth. All right, so that's my little build for today. I love doing these little, you know, builds, because I just enjoy connecting stuff, putting stuff together, here to hear how they sound. And yeah, so if you enjoy this, and you're you know, and you find, you know, you found some value into it, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to. This is the unconventional sound, the unconventional audio, as the channel is called. And until the next video, you take care of yourself, and thank you so much for listening.